Hey FlossTube, Ashley here, Boogie Stitcher on YouTube, Shlism_Boogie Stitcher on Instagram, coming to you guys with part 3 of the Whip Parade. We're still going strong. I have an entire filing cabinet full of cross stitch patterns and one small container right here that we are going to try and get through. Hopefully I can fit it all in one video, but we'll just have to see. We got Teeny Tiny taking a nap. Kiddos are entertained, so let's go ahead and dive right in. Quick disclaimer, if you missed my first 2 whip parades, you can check those out on my channel. I am going to try my best to remember everybody's names, the names of the designers and everything like that. If you have any questions about any of the patterns at all, please feel free to just send me a message and I will send you the link or the designer name or what have you. If I was to try and sit here and look it all up and remember all of them with over 100 whips, probably take forever. So I'm going to insert the picture of the whips up here or over here, depending on how I edit. It goes faster that way unless I already have the picture in the bag. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into number 3. So we have a stamped kit. This is a newer one, and so I don't know like how far I've gotten on it, but here we go. Super pretty pattern. I love the autumn moon and her wings, and she's gorgeous. She's an elf. So yeah, everything about this just screams me at the watercolor background. I still have it in the crinkle bag. And this one is on floss drops still. It has not been kitted up into either a floss card or put on binder rings, which is probably why I haven't gotten very far, if I have gotten any progress on this at all. Yeah, I haven't gotten like any progress. I think I'm used to like sitting over here. There we go. I'm used to like showing over here. Okay, that's as far as I've gotten on this. Just background colors. Not very far. It is a newer kit, so I struggle getting into new stamped kits until the fabric is super nice and comfortable to work on. The tents is just looking good though, from what I can tell. This is a watercolor background, so you got a lot of kind of blended backgrounds to kind of give it a smoky effect. Here is the back, and this is a 50 by 70, so it is pretty large, so this is a very insignificant start. So yeah. But again, those newer kits I really struggle getting into and getting started, but as soon as I get them started, it's fine. Then we fly when I actually do get a chance to work on them. And here is the giant container, or one of, there we go, one of the containers that we're going through. Another one is one that goes underneath my bed. I'm basically just using this to unload the filing cabinet to bring it into my room so I can record and then bring it back without having piles everywhere. So, okay, next up we have one of a newer stamped kit. I did a collab with 2 different versions of this library. This one, and then there's another one with like a girl in the middle of the library with like more pinks and purples around. I will eventually start both, but for now I've only started this one. And I started either in this one or this one, I can't remember, in the bookshelf to see if we would get enough details to show in a 11 count stamp kit. And I believe this is I think this is a 50 by 50? 59 by 59. I was close. Close. Okay. This one has not been kitted up either, so I still have just the floss straps with no binder ring or anything. So that's probably, again, why I don't have a ton of progress on this. That's it. Is that no, that's not even the right orientation. Okay, here's where I've gone to. So I think I started with this. This is Stitch 6 strand tent stitch count stamped kit. The fabric is really nice, but it is a new kit, so it's still not like worked in very much. But from what I can tell, I mean, the books look great. The books are a very small part of this pattern. You can see they're pretty small. But I can see all of those books just fine. So this is perfect. I'm so glad that they are turning out good, especially doing 10 stitch. So this one's definitely a keeper. I will continue to stitch on this, but this is a very small portion of this kit. I'm gonna scoot back a little. I have a lot of big patterns. I have to like have more room. Okay, so this is like very small amount of this pattern. Now this is new, so there's that, but yeah, this is a very small sliver. But this is a prime example of how I like to stitch. I like to stitch, I pick a detail on the pattern and then I stitch that detail and then I either move on or I put it away. And this is a prime example of that because I stitched those books, almost completed the books all the way. Normally I complete them a little bit more, so I'm surprised I didn't. But yeah, I completed the detail and then I moved on. So that's what I like to do. Motivated by small details of a pattern. And eventually we'll stitch the whole thing. Eventually. I don't get very many finishes because I have a lot of full coverage stamped kits. I have a lot of counteds now too. To be fair, I have a lot of patterns just in general. But I don't get very many finishes. Okay, so there's that one. Next up, we have an oldie that I've kind of fallen back in love with. I think I fell out of love with this because I had just learned pen stitch and I was like, there's no way I'm going to stitch all this background. This is ridiculous. But I've fallen back in love with it and will be stitching on this more lately or soon. So this is the Evil Stepmother from Cinderella. I absolutely love Cinderella. It is a huge fan favorite of mine. Cinderella, Alice in Wonderland, and Sleeping Beauty are three of my favorite Disney movies. So this one you got the evil stepmother with the cat, and then you of course got Cinderella cleaning and the two stepsisters yelling at her down while she's cleaning. But this is an old one, and I don't think I've gotten a ton done. But this last time I stitched on it, I did get good progress. So I will show you that right now. It's a 40 by 50. And here is here's the whole thing. So when I first picked this up, I started stitching down here. She is all full cross down here. Yeah, all of this is full cross. And then I discovered 10 stitch. So then I moved up here and started stitching 10 stitch. So all of this is tent. And I just really wanted to see the outline of the stepmother's face right here. So that's what I'm working towards. And then I'll probably jump back down to Cinderella and or the cat. But yeah, here's the whole thing. I love this pattern. I don't know, when I first got it, it was kind of daunting to think about like all of the black I would have to stitch, but now it's fine. And because this is a little bit older, the fabric is nice to stitch on, which helps too, So there is that one. Let all the air out. Okay, next up we have a Bella Filipina. This is actually my first Bella Filipina that I ever purchased. This is Bellatrix. This is Bellatrix. She is absolutely gorgeous. Emma, I believe, completed hers. Emma is iwasphoebe on Instagram. Abby is working on hers. She's also stitching this. I think it's kind of just coincidence that we all happen to be stitching on the same one, which is funny. But Abby's working on hers as well. Yeah, I'm not much to say. I love Bella Filipina patterns. I love the fancy ladies. I have several on my wish list, but they're so expensive to kit up. This one I've only gotten a couple of the fancy flosses for. I've gotten no beading. When I went to order the fancy floss for this, some of it wasn't in stock. So we got the Phenix. There we go. There's all the Phenix. But I'm still missing one or two, I think. And I only picked out one. I also have the Karen, is this cow lilies? I think. No, water lilies. I got the water lilies for it as well. But yeah, I love all the patterns. They're just really expensive to kit up, like super expensive. So you have to pay for the pattern and then you have to get fabric and then you have to get all this fancy floss. And for me, that's really hard to do. Really hard to do. but for one, it's fine. So here's where we have gotten to on her. The last time I picked her up, I was working on all of the skin, which, by the way, never again will I stitch skin 1/1, I don't think. I did Mayari, which you'll see later, skin as 1/1 instead of, instead of 2/2. And I messed her up. And it's so frustrating when you have to pick out all of the skin. Now, Bellatrix, I haven't messed up on yet. Please knock on wood for me. Like all of the wood. Haven't messed her up yet. She's doing great, but it is very, very slow and tedious work when you can't see on 28 count anyway, and then you're stitching over 1. It's very hard, very, very hard. So it's a really good challenge. I am definitely learning a lot with her, but never again, I don't think. Never again. So she is stitched on 28 count even weave. We are stitching 2/1 for the regular stitches, and the skin is stitched 1/1. So for every one regular skin like symbol, I actually have 4 stitches in that one to make up. I know it's kind of hard to. I can explain it more if you really need me to, but it's kind of hard to explain if you don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway. Here is the fabric. This is 28 count even weave that I hand dyed myself. I don't know if I don't think she'll be this big necessarily. This is a pretty big piece of fabric, but she will be beautiful when she is done. I am down to her knee. So I just have her knee right here and then a tiny bit of leg, and then her skin is almost completely done. I still have her arms to do and the rest of her face. But yeah, she's coming along nicely, slowly but surely. And like I said, last time I got her out, I just tackled some more of the skin and did some more of her hair. So that's what I'm hoping to continue with her, is just to finish the skin, finish the hair, and then figure out where I want to go after that. Go. Put her back in her bag. Zip her up. And moving on. Next up, we have a Heavener design pattern. This one is Treasure Hunt Bookshelf. This one is by Amy Stewart. Now, this one has such a long story. I will try and make it as brief as possible. So when I first got this pattern and when I first started cross stitching, I was all about the big patterns, big colorful patterns, and I still am, like, close to my heart. I love all of the full coverage projects, really big ones, so you get all of the detail because I'm drawn to detail. I decided to get this regular size max color. That's what I did. That's how I started this pattern, and it was full cross country as far as I can reach on in my hoop. That's what I did. So here is the pattern. Yeah, here's the pattern. It's huge, very, very huge. Suki, the brown-eyed stitcher, she is stitching this, and she's almost, I want to say she's done. I want to say she's finished it. If not, she's very close to finishing. I'm so behind on FlossTube, but she's stitching it. It's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. I think hers is supersized max color. Mine is just regular, but originally was regular and max color. Now I started doing it as such, realized, holy cow, that is so much confetti. I don't think I could do this much longer. So I got the idea of, I don't know where I got the idea, but I was like, why can't I just buy the regular pattern? So that's what I did. I was like, okay, all of this section, max color. Great. Awesome. And then I purchased the regular pattern with the regular amount of colors, which I believe is like 90 colors or something. And then I just started stitching that. and it's the same pattern, you just have different colors. So I did my best to try and do that. Here's the problem though, is that I've changed my stitching style in that I cannot do cross country anymore. I just can't. I get lost. I can't see. I think it's the lack of focus with the kids around trying to stitch on it, or, you know, when I do have stitching time, I'm tired. And tired eyes can't see anything. So I just, first of all, I struggle getting this out because of that. There's so many holes to fill in on this pattern. So many holes. So I finally have this part completely filled in from here to here, all the way to here. I believe this is the first page right here. And that's what I did the last time I picked it up, is I just tried to fill in a bunch of missing confetti stitches. Now, of course, I have all of this craziness over here with all these park threads, and the park threads are fine. It's not a big deal, and this is 22 count, so I can see it, but it is very overwhelming. Not only am I switching it over from max color to regular color, but I'm also trying to figure out where all these ninja stitches are and what color they should be now that I have the new color. And yeah, this one's a complete mess. I think I have 14,000 stitches done on it, which, if you think about the whole project, that's small taters, very small taters. But I think for me, it might be too much to start over. So I don't know. I don't know what I want to do, but I love this pattern, but I have not wanted to pull it out because of all of these ninja stitches everywhere. So I don't know what I want to do. This one's just been in limbo forever. It is going to be a very big pattern. It's 625 by 452. And here it is. It looks beautiful. It looks great. This is also stitched 2/1 10 stitch on 22 count Hardanger. So there is that. But yeah, I just, yeah, I don't know what I want to do. Because I'm 14,000 stitches is kind of a lot. But if you think about the total number of stitches in this entire pattern, it's small and insignificant. So I don't know what I want to do. But as of right now, it's kind of in a timeout while I try and figure it out. Okay. Next up, we have a pattern that was gifted to me, actually. No. This was not gifted to me. This was a custom kit, a custom created kit that I had created from Fanzels. That's right. Okay. Here we go. This is my teacup. So, not only do I love the colors of this pattern, but it also reminds me of Harry Potter, Hogsmeade. So I really love it. But this is a fairly new kit, and it is 11 count, so I really have to try and work in the fabric. Excuse me. That way I'm comfortable stitching on it. Also, it's on floss drops, and I need to either kit it up on a floss card or put it on binder ring because I have a really hard time stitching things on floss drops, especially a big full coverage. If it's counted and only has like 10 or so colors, maybe even 20, it's fine to use floss drops for me, but it's when it's full coverage and I have like 60 plus colors, 40 colors, you know, all that's a little much. So this one, I think the only progress I've gotten done on it is right here. So yeah, I think this is the corner of where the house starts. Yeah, so I started right here, I believe. Yep, there we go. I think. It looks like it. Yeah, I think that's where I started. But again, this is a fairly large kit, so that is very insignificant. But you know, every stitch counts. It's not a big deal. I have a million. Here's the back. So 11 count stamp kit, stitch full 10 stitch. I'm using 6 strands. And it's beautiful. It's just gonna take forever to finish. Okay, what's next? There we go. Okay, Next up we have Stardew Valley. So this is Autumn Stardew Valley. I don't remember the designer name. This one is a little bit different for me, but my husband got it for me on Etsy, and the picture's up here somewhere. So this one has a story too. I started it on 28 count even weave. But this pattern is charted by 5s instead of 10s. So not only did I have 28 count, which is super small for me now, but then I was trying to count by 5s instead of by 10s. And for me, that was messing up my brain. I was like, everything is charted as 10. 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. I can count to 10. But for some reason you have the lines as 5s. My brain explodes. So I ended up starting it over. I started over on 18 count Fiddler's Ada. That way I have enough room to mark all of the lines as 5s. That way my brain, I can manage that. It's still not nice. I would much prefer it to be 10, charted by 10s like everything else. And I did reach out to the designer, and she said unfortunately that's how she charted it, and she doesn't plan on changing it. So I was like, dang it, farts. So I have this in easy PDF reader because it's not Pattern Keeper compatible either. So I have it in my PDF reader, and I have taken my finger and drawn thick lines every 5 just to really hardcore see, because the pattern doesn't show like thick lines. It only shows thin lines for 5s. Anyway, everything is wrong with this chart as far as like being easy, but I've managed to figure it out. The top of the autumn tree looks gorgeous. It's working. It's just I really have to focus when I'm stitching on this one, because not only do I don't have Pattern Keeper, but it's by 5s, and I had to hand draw on the pattern to try and get it all like fixed. So yep, here's where we're at. And this is 18 count, and I'm using 3-strand tent on it too. So that's tent stitch. I love tent stitch, in case you didn't know that already. And here is my crazy back. I have not cut off any of the like strands yet, but it's total confetti chaos. But I don't care. I don't care what my back looks like, because guess what? It's on the back and it's gonna be framed and no one's gonna see it, so it's fine. I also kind of struggle with this one a little bit too, just because I haven't kitted it up. I've just been grabbing a strand from the DMC, like if this was the color I was going to use, I would grab the 6 strands, pull it out to whatever length I want, cut all 6 strands, take whatever threads I need, and then I tie it around the bottom of the skein. So, but I don't have them in any sort of order. I wish I would put them at least on a binder ring so they would be in numerical order, but you know, who's got time for that? I need stitching time, not organizing time. Even though organizing time would probably get me more stitching time, but you know, I'm backwards. Okay, next up we have a very old kit that I have gotten some progress on. This was one of my very first video unboxings of a purchase from AliExpress. I believe this is Mian Cross Stitch. And here, this picture does not do it justice. I'll probably put a picture up here as well. But it is a beta lion. And I want to finish this and put this in the kids' bathroom. That is my goal for this. But Mian Cross Stitch on AliExpress uses very dark, vivid colors for their stamping, which is good so you can see it. Excuse me. But I don't know. It kind of like boggles my eyes. I have a really hard time stitching on this for a really long time, I think, because of it. But the fabric is really nice because I have stitched on it for a while. It's an old project, and it's a 38 by 48, so it's not huge. But here's where I've run to. So this one, I have had the beta done, the beta fish done for a really long time. So this guy's been finished. Full cross as well. And then I discovered tent stitch, and I was like, I'm going to convert this over to tent. Why not? Let's do it. So I converted over to tent stitch, and then I completed the eye. A lot of the lion's like forehead or side forehead, and then the rest of this background. So this like 10 by 10 right here. I did all of this, and then I did all of this. Now, of course, it's very dark, vivid stamping, so it's really hard to see, but that's what I've done. So I've done all of this right here in 10 stitch. And then of course this this line right here. Yeah, looking good. Especially from back here. And that eye is looking really good. And the eye is 10 stitch. So there we go. You can 10 stitch 11 count. I love it. It's way faster. And I think I just prefer doing it too. It's too tiresome to go back over with the last leg of the stitch for some reason. I don't know. 10 stitches is my friend. We're friends. All right, last up for this container, then I'll have to go get a new container, which is just another drawer of the filing cabinet. So this pattern is kept in my monkey and mouse bag, which I absolutely love. It's got pockets on the outside. It's completely waterproof. And ever since I got this bag, this project has been in it the whole time. So, but I really need to finish this pattern because it's an oldie. This is a Ravenclaw Room. It's this 11 count stamped kit. Oh, it doesn't have a picture. Oh, that's annoying. No picture? No picture. Okay, picture's up here. This is a 40 by 40, I believe. And I started this full cross. I debated for a really long time whether or not I wanted to convert this to 10 stitch or not. And I think I still haven't. No, I did. I did finally convert this over to 10 stitch. So this is full cross and 10 stitch. And the fabric is so soft because I've stitched on this for a while. So here we are. That whole top section is done all the way to where this yellow is, all the way across. Then we have these blue curtains that are completed right here. I am missing a big section right here. And then I've completed all of this to connect with the bookshelf. I've completed none of the side of the bookshelf, but I've completed the bookshelf right here. And then I've done the statue to see if the statue would look good, which is in the middle of the room. And yeah, that's it. And then of course the brick background. But yeah, this really needs to be completed because this is an old one. And I have all of the dorm rooms waiting to be worked on. I've only started one other dorm room, which I believe is Hufflepuff. But yeah, this needs finished really bad. But it's like a third. I'd say it's a third of the way done. But it's so soft. See, every time I feel this one, I want to work on it just because it feels so nice. And when something is a dream to work on, you want to work on it. So, okay, that is it for the first drawer. I'm going to pause here, go put this all away, grab another drawer, and I'll be right back. Okay, we have a whole nother container completely full. Drawer number 2. So yeah, we have lots of patterns. Okay, first up we have another Heavener Designs pattern. This one is stitching shelf. Here we go. I believe it's just the regular size and the regular colors because I learned my lesson with the max color one. So this one I started off not having kitted. I used to have my master set on a big set of floss cards, but they were starting to get tangled, dirty, and fuzzy, all DMC, because, you know, they'd sit on the couch. I would put them in a bag when I wasn't using them, but the kids would grab them and throw them on the floor. I would flip around using them for all of my full coverage, and that started to become too messy. I didn't like having my floss be kind of fuzzy and dirty looking, just like with lint and dust. So I ended up kitting this one up. Now I am missing a fair bit of colors for this still, but I decided to make homemade floss drop style things. So instead of using bobbins, I think that's what they're called, or floss, the little thingies. I cut out a bunch of floss drop rectangles with the hole, and then I wrapped the floss around the little card. So, and then I just wrote the number on it, and I have it in this little container because I really am motivated by having things kitted up. So, and I tend to want to work on it then. Okay, so this one I wanted to work on every single season, and based off of the season, I would either do, you know, winter or autumn, what have you. So sorry. Oh, goodness. So this one, I originally started in the spring. I believe the top one is spring. Yeah, spring, summer, fall. Okay, so I did up here, and this is a 22 count even weave that I hand dyed like a coffee stain. So, and I'm using 2-strand tint. So I started cross country in spring. Then it was, let's see, the next time I worked on it was winter. So here's winter. Lots of confetti, and I was cross country, so unfortunately. So I'm going to have to fill in all of these stitches next time I stitch on it, which is, yeah, kind of a struggle. But it looks really good. I love the stitching lady right here. That's what draws me to this one, is every single little scene. It's like a little woman stitching. So that's awesome. But then after that, it was spring again. So the next time I worked on it, so I filled in some missing stitches in here. And then it was, let's see, fall. Is this the fall? Yeah, this is the fall section. So, and I started doing my story keeps. No, I wasn't doing not story keep, Royal Rose. I wasn't stitching Royal Rose at the time. I was just trying to stitch as much as I could here, and then park up here. I was going to do kind of like the next column. So an extreme Royal Rose, I think, is how I was stitching it. And then it was spring. Or not spring, summer. So then I came up and started stitching summer. And summer is all cross country. So yeah, another one where I'm like, I don't know, do I need to restart it because I don't stitch cross country anymore and this is very overwhelming for my brain? Or do I just suffer through, fill in all of the holes, and continue because it's looking gorgeous? I don't know. If you all have any suggestions, let me know. Because I don't know. I don't know. But this one is very large. And here's the back. Total chaos. So there is that one. I should probably take this hoop too. And I should probably take this needle and needle minder. That's what I should do. There we go. And yeah. Take the hoop. I can never have enough hoops. I need to just go on a shopping spree for all the hoops and all of the needles, all the fabric, all of the things. And maybe throw in a couple patterns too, just for good measure. Not like I need any more. Although I have so many patterns on my wish list. And there's been so many times where I'm like, it's fine. I could do another one. It's not a big deal. But then I think about all the patterns I do have, and I'm like, this is not working. Oh no, and my light is dying, so I'm going to pause and plug it back in really fast. There. You can see my face. It's bright again. Yeah, so anyway, there's lots of patterns that I want, but I have a really hard time stitching my old things. I get something new, I stitch on it, and then it just sits in a drawer until I crave it, which isn't very often. And so, I don't know, I've kind of thought about maybe trying to just pick 40 out of like over 100, right? So that's a good number. Just pick 40, put them out in the filing cabinet, and that's all I can stitch on for at least a month. But I don't know. I think even picking 40 would be a really hard thing to do. What, sweetie? Anyway. What can you do? All right, next up we have another Harry Potter dorm room or common room. This one is the other one that I was talking about, Hufflepuff. And Emma was stitching this. I believe she finished hers. I think Rena from Sparrowstitchery is, I don't know if she completed Hufflepuff or if she's still working on it, but I know she's finished Slytherin. And I feel like there's another one that she's finished too, but now I can't remember. But this one is Hufflepuff. Like I said, I have all of them in the series. They're all 50 by 50s. This one is completely 10 stitch though.
I'm just getting the switch.
It's not in here, sweetie. Okay, this one is fully 10 stitch. So, there we go. I love the way this spider plant looks right here. Absolutely beautiful. I've thought about doing some back stitching around some of the branches, but then I was like, but then I would have to do the whole thing, and I don't know if I want to do that. Here, I think there's green in here, and I think I might change that to be like a gray instead. I don't like the green in there, but not too bad, considering I have so many of these. Oh, I believe last time I picked this up, I started working on the star in the tree. So there's a little tree and the star on top of the tree right there. So there we go. That's what I've done. And this is kind of a nice change of scenery because I don't have very many patterns that have like bright yellow and green. So it's kind of nice to stitch on in that sense. Different color palette. So I crave this one sometimes. Okay, next up, this was a gift. This was a gift for my birthday from Nikki, threadmaiden. Starry Night. It's a Starry Night princess. I mean, what's better than that? So here's the picture of the pattern up there. And this is 11 count. It's very large. I think it's 50 by 70. 60. Oh, 60 by 50. It's not as big as I thought, but I definitely need to get going on her. I've done her hair and I've done her face. I had to make sure that the face was going to look good, but I haven't picked it up since I finished that detail. It's in the filing cabinet, and I tend to kind of forget about some of the things in the filing cabinet, even though that's what's supposed to be like my main stitching like area. That and this like tiered drawer next to me. But yeah, I mean, her hair looks good. Her face looks good. I need to keep going on it. I need to keep going. And this is stitched fully 10 stitch, and the fabric is starting to be nice because I've stitched on it a little bit, so that's good. I just need to get going, and the stamping is super crisp too, so yeah, I need to get going on this one. It's beautiful. I have another Starry Night one too, which is Haunted House, which I'll show later. But yeah, I didn't used to like Starry Night things, but now it's definitely grown on me, and now I'm like, oh, it's the Starry Night, I gotta get that. It's funny how our tastes change. All right, this one I think is one of my oldest whips. This was a purchase from AliExpress, Mian, I believe, but it's silk. This was my first experience with silk. It's also my first experience ordering. It was my very first order of a stamped kit. And so the fabric is super, super nice. But this is a 50 by 70, no, 58 by 78. And it's silk. And. So this one I love, love, love. And I would love to get this finished. I'll just put the picture up here. I would love to get this finished one day, but it's going to take a lot of stuff to do. So here is the pattern. It goes like this. Here's the whole thing. So I have a long ways to go, but this has been completed for a really long time. This is all full cross. And then I haven't converted this to 10 stitch yet. Have I? No, I haven't converted this to 10 stitch. Yes, I have. Yes, I have. I had to find the stitches. That's hilarious. Okay, all full cross, mostly full cross, and down here, the last time I picked this up, I started filling in some of these stitches right here, which of course you can't see. It's too far away, and there's too much like stamping. And the eye is almost done. I have just a couple more stitches left in the eye, which of course looks like nothing until I get all of the 939 filled in around it so you can actually see the eye. Hopefully the eye looks beautiful when I finish it. That will be my next like go-to. But for silk, I have found 6-strand tint to be amazing. It makes silk so much easier. It doesn't fray as much. The stitches look so much nicer. I don't have to worry about it. It's just, yeah, so much nicer. So here's this. Here is the craziness of the back. Yeah, I need to work on this. It's just, I say that about everything, but this one is like my very first like stamped purchase. So I really need to get going on it. And again, it would be so cool to have hanging up in someone's bathroom or like in the hallway or something just because it's so big. I don't know, but it deserves love. Here's that other pattern I was talking about, the other library. So there's the picture of it, but I haven't started it yet. I haven't started this one yet, so it was just in the cabinet. Okay, next up we have another Heaven and Earth design pattern. This one is by Anne Stokes. Here is the artwork. I love fairies, fantasy, dragons, elves, forest. I love it all. So yeah, that's no surprise. This is Mini Realm of Enchantment. And this one was calling to me the other day, but I couldn't find it. Whoopsie. It was in the filing cabinet. Also, this one's not kitted up. And so stitching on it now would be really difficult without kitting it up because I've changed my master from all those floss cards to be dispersed basically. So I got to figure out what to do because this one was calling me and then I couldn't find it. And then I was like, oh yeah, it's not even kitted up anyway. So yeah, it's fine. So this one is my first Heaven or Designs pattern on an 18 count, I believe. This is 18 count Ada, stitch 3-strand tent. You can even see my little test right there. Yeah, this one was started full cross country, and I haven't converted it over to the Royal Rose yet. So, but luckily it's the very beginning, so I don't have to worry about, you know, too many confetti stitches. I just have a couple of things to fill in, like right here, and then of course this whole part of the page is pretty much undone. So I think the stitches around the wing right here are just missing because I was missing the color. So I don't know. I've thought about making one master how I have it, just ready to go and to pick from when I need it. Another master in my binder, which I have a binder full of CXC in card sleeves. And then it would be cool to have a working master on my floss cards that like I used to have, where I only use those for my full coverage. So I don't know. That's a lot of masters. So anyway, there she is. Oh, in the back, in case anyone wants to see the back. Total chaos. Just like my brain. But it's perfect. I rather enjoy the process of stitching. So we'll just carry the thread as far as I feel like it so I don't have to start a new thread rather than worrying about the back. So. Okay, what's next? Next up we have my Phenix elf. Here's a picture up here. I created this one using Pick to Pat, I believe is the name of it. It's been a while. This one is stitched on that like weird fabric that I got from Amazon though, so I'm not the biggest fan of it. So that's why this one doesn't get stitched on very much, just because I don't really like the fabric. And it's not kitted up. Again with the kit up. But this is where I've gone to so far. And I'm stitching this one 3-strand? Yeah, 3-strand tent on 18 count Ada. So I'm missing some colors, which is why there's some holes in here. So that's kind of frustrating. But yeah, I'm still working in background. Most of my full coverage projects are still working on background and no like hardcore details yet because I've just kind of got it started. So yeah, there she is. Lovely pattern. I love Phoenixes. Next up, I don't know if I've started this one. I have started this one. Not very far though. This one, I got a bunch of haunted house stamped kits, and then I sent one to Abby and one to Sallyann, and we're all stitching them together. So this is the one that I picked. Kind of reminds me of like a haunted house that's like alive because it looks like a cyclops eye. So I really like this one. It's 40 by 40, but I haven't gotten very far on it, which means I need to get it out because it's kind of like feeling like fall. I'm kind of feeling the Halloween vibe. So I'll be stitching on that witch cauldron this week for one of my prompts, which is like a small. The prompt was a small project, and I instantly thought, oh yeah, I just like showed the witch on the Whip Parade. Oh, and this one's so tiny. It's 40 by 40. I should totally get this out. Okay, we gotta get this out soon. You can't even tell where I've stitched because yeah, I haven't stitched very much. So there's a couple stitches right here. There's some stitches right here, and then there's some pink and purple right. Okay, phone ran out of storage apparently, and I didn't realize it wasn't recording anymore. So let's just, get this back out. So what I was saying is there is some pinks and purples right here, a couple other stitches right here, but really I was just trying to stitch in the hoop all over the place, and this one has a lot of confetti because you have all those rainbow colors everywhere. So here's where my hoop was. It's just in like a big circle. I was just kind of stitching wherever, but I've really been feeling the Halloween vibe, so I really got to get this out because yeah, I've really been feeling some of those patterns. Okay, next up we have The Earth Has Music. I saw Abby stitching this and I was like, I have to stitch this too. So I started this one, and it's on 18 count Ada that I hand dyed myself. And yeah, it's kind of just got like a pinky purplish vibe. But I haven't made it very far. I started stitching on it and then got distracted, I think, with a new start and stopped. So the leaf and the branch look really good. So I just gotta keep going on it. There is that one. It looks like we might have one or two more left in this drawer. And then, surprise, surprise, I think there's only 2 or 3 more drawers left. So we're getting there. We're totally getting there. Okay. No, this is the last one of the container. Okay, this is Mayari. This is another Bella Filipina. And this is Mayari, Deity of the Moon. So this one is the one that I messed up on, and now I'm trying to determine whether or not I want to restart her. I messed up pretty hardcore in the skin, in the hair, and I either have to pick out a bunch of stitches or just re-stitch them, and then if I was to do that, I would stitch her skin 2 over 2 like everything else. I think it'd be significantly easier. So I'm still trying to decide what to do. I have a really hard time seeing on 28 count, but stitching over 2 is a little bit easier. I just have to decide what to do. This one I have almost all of the fancy floss as well. Like all the Phenix, they were missing another color, and I think it was back ordered, and then they canceled the back order because they just weren't getting it in. So this is on 28 count even weave that I hand dyed myself. This is one of my favorite dye jobs. I have no idea how I did this, which is unfortunate because I love it and it looks great. But yeah, which is why I'm like, oh, I shouldn't restart it. I should just pick out the error and figure out like where I went wrong and then start over. So I messed up here in the hair somewhere, which then caused like a little bit of miscounting in the face. So I have to try and figure out how to fix her, because looking at her now, I definitely don't want to stitch her on different fabric. Like this fabric was meant for this pattern. It's stitched up so, or like dyed up so good. Like look at that, beautiful. So yeah, I gotta just figure it out. But this one is stitched on 28 count even weave, 2 strands over 2 stitches. Skin is 1 over 1. I did have to rip out the back stitching on her face several times and redo it, I think a total of 4 times before I was happy with how it looked. I wasn't happy with the eye and how the eyebrow was going, but it is looking pretty good now. So yeah, she's looking really good. I hate doing the skin 1/1. That's very frustrating. And then of course I miscounted by like half a stitch over here. So trying to figure out how I can either fudge it or rip it out and fix it. But I have done some of her dress down here as well. She's gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. And I want to get all the deities that he has. Or that, yeah, that they've released anyway. So here was my attempt to restart it, and I don't know if I actually did or not. Yeah, I did. So this is 18 count Ada that I hand dyed myself to try and match my previous dye. Oh, well, this turned out really good too. So maybe it wouldn't be too bad to restitch it. So this was me dyeing a piece of 18 count Ada, trying to remember how I dyed up the 28 count even weave. Looks like it did pretty good though. So I don't know. I just have to decide, do I want to continue restarting her? So that way it's easier and less mind-boggling for me to stitch that skin and to try and figure out where I went wrong. Because it looks like I did restart her. So yeah, I don't know. If you have any opinions, should I restart her? Yes or no? In the comments, let me know. Because it looks like I already did. I just have to figure out, do I want to continue restarting, like stitching her on this one, or should I try and figure out where I went wrong, unpick some of the skin and some of the hair and continue with this one. So which one should I do? I don't know. Let me know. Let me know, because I need help. Okay, that is it for this container. I now have to pause and go grab another. Like put all these patterns back in the drawer and then grab a new drawer and bring it back in here. So lots and lots and lots of shuffling around, but that's what happens. I have a lot of projects, so there's got to be a lot of shuffling. All right, be right back. All right, we have another drawer. It's falling over everywhere. We have this drawer, one more drawer, and one more container that's been sitting here from under my bed. And then we are done with the board parade. So let me try and show you this drawer that is like exploding. There's so many patterns here, ridiculous. But first things first, I have my Pokemon bag. This is my favorite bag. This is my Pokemon bag that was made by DMS Crafty Vortex. And she sent this to me when I had Teeny Tiny, I believe. Was it Teeny Tiny? I can't remember. But, I mean, it's Pokemon. It's all my favorite colors. I stinking love this bag. So I keep my Pokemon pattern in here, which is getting closer to being done. It will be done eventually. And the pattern is right up here. And so this one has been talked about on my channel for a while. So if you're returning, then yeah, I'm sorry, but here we go. So we have Charmander, we have Squirtle, and we have Bulbasaur. So I don't know why I forgot to put Pikachu on here. It would have been so much smarter to put Bulbasaur and Pikachu, but I forgot about Pikachu, okay? I'm sorry. I think at the time the kids told me their favorite Pokemon, and then it was Charmander and Squirtle, and then of course mine and my husband's is Bulbasaur, which is why it's bigger, but then they have since changed to now Pikachu and Squirtle, and Charmander's not on the list anywhere, so I don't know. But this I am hoping to finish this year. It is an 11 count custom created stamped kit that I had done created on Etsy. This is stitched 6-strand tent. I originally started this full cross. The full cross part is Bulbasaur's nose and eye right here, and this nose are all full cross. Oh, and this eye too. Everything else in this pattern is tent stitch. So yeah, it's looking really good. This is one of my favorites, and I can't wait to get this framed and put up on the wall because I am a huge Pokemon fan. I love everything about this pattern. I even love how the little like dewdrop is on the leaf right there. Yes, this is just awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So here is the back. Total chaos, like I said, but that's just how I like it because I do it to myself. But yeah, we're so close. We just have this right here to do. Like, that's not hard, right? It's July. No, it's not. It's not July. It's the like middle of August. Why did I think it was July? I'm stuck in time apparently. All right, so there is that one. Next up, we have a pattern that I got for my husband because he loves The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, and I do too. And this is The Hobbit house, which of course the picture does not do it justice, so I'll put the picture right here. And this is the other Starry Night pattern that I was talking about earlier, and it is pretty large. It's a 65 by 50. And I asked my husband where he wanted me to start, and he said to just start doing the Hobbit house. So here we are, doing the Hobbit house. Oh no, that's Teeny Tiny waking up. I hear the door opening. So here is where we've gotten to so far. This is stitched 6-strand tent, completely 10 stitch. This is an 11 count stamped kit as well. Hi honey, are you coming in? Good morning. Did you have a good nap? Yeah. Go see Sissy. She can get you some crackies. No, you're gonna come in and close the door? You're gonna go see Sissy? Say Sissy, turn on True. Sissy, will you turn True on? Okay, thank you. Oh. He doesn't want True, I guess. Do you wanna go watch? Okay. I'll be back. Okay, I have no idea where we were. Let's see. There we go. Upside down. Okay, you wanted me to start working on the Hobbit house, so that's where I started. And it's looking really good. At first, I was like, this doesn't look like anything. But one thing you really got to do with stamped kits is you got to fill out the whole detail and some of the background. And then you could determine if it looks good or not. So this does look really good. I love the way the windows look and the doors. I can even see a little pillar right there. So yeah, right now I'm just working up over here to like up on the side, the hill above the house, and then the side right here. So looking pretty good, I think, so far. And of course the fabric is nice because I've started working on it. So yeah, it's really nice. Okay, next up we have a pretty big oldie. Not that one. This one. So this pattern. This is Professor Snape. Silhouette. I love this pattern, or the picture anyway. But when they sent it, it came with missing floss. No, excuse me. I had this custom created, but when I had it custom created, they sent it with a bunch of missing floss and stuff, and it was all blurry. I didn't like it, so I actually gave that pattern away. And now I got this one to replace it. And this one stamped in is significantly better, but still not the greatest. So as you can see right in here, hopefully it focuses. Focus. No, it's not going to focus. That's what happens when I use my phone, but using my phone on these videos is so much easier. Anyway, there is an orange circle in here that looks a little blurry. So it's not the greatest stamping, but it will definitely do. Because I really love this pattern and I would love to get it hung up. So, needle. Oh, there's the needle. It's like, I think there's a needle in here. So, there we go. We got almost the complete like water and like inside his face filled out. Now we just need to start filling in some of the background, the rest of his hair. I've thought about doing just not fully squared black, but kind of like edgy black all the way around him. I don't know what I'm going to do, if I'm going to do that or if I'll stitch the whole thing. But this part was my focus. This part I've almost completed, minus like his chin right there, and then like 4 stitches right there. Other than that, that part is completely done, and it is stitched full 10 stitch, so 6 strands, looking really good. I just need to kind of get going on it. This one tends to be forgotten about a lot for some reason. I have no idea why, because I love it. And there's not too many colors either, so yeah, I need to get going. Okay, I gotta plug my phone in because it's gonna die now. Everything is dying on me. Doing these bigger videos. There we go. Okay, we're not gonna die. We're fine. Everything is plugged in. Next up we have, oh my gosh, I totally forgot about it. Like I said, this is the bad thing about having like a bunch of projects is you forget about things that you had or have gotten. So here's the picture over here because this tiny little picture doesn't do justice. This is the Yin Yang Tigers. I believe I got my Nana and my mom all tigers. Yeah, we started them. I didn't get very far before I lost interest and moved on to something else. That's what I've done. Background. This is a 45 by 45 and eventually it will look like that. But for now I've only done a little bit of the background. My Nemesis color 939. It looks like there might be some 3750 in there as well, and maybe 310. But that's what I've gotten to. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 500 stitches. That's pretty much most of my projects, unfortunately. I forget about them, and then when it's time to like go looking to see what I want to stitch, there's too many to look through. So then I just kind of grab whatever's closest to me. So this is why I think I really want to just pick like 40 patterns and work on them until I get good progress. Excuse me, or I get too bored and then I can switch them out. I used to do that. I stopped doing it. I need to get back to it because it worked really good getting progress on everything before like switching things out. I also need to get back into journaling. I started doing journaling for like 2 weeks. I stop because either like the kids lose my pens or, you know, teeny tiny's trying to destroy my book or what have you. And then I stop. So I would like to do that too, but I need to figure out a way. If it's not sitting next to me and me looking at it every single day, I don't do it. So I really need something like sitting there staring at me, but that is baby proof. Because my whole house has to be baby proof. Otherwise, it's destroyed. Okay, what's next? What is this? Oh gosh. I forgot about this one too. Okay, so this one. This is the princesses. We got Belle, we got Aurora, we have Ariel, Cinderella, Jasmine, and Snow White. So this one replaced, excuse me, so sorry. This one I have the same pattern as a accounted, but I ended up UFOing it because I was like, well, I found the stamped, so I'm just gonna do the stamped. And then it's smaller, kind of. I guess smaller stitch count because it's an 11 count stamp kit, but is larger because it's an 11 count stamp kit. So this is a 90 by 62. And Cinderella is one of my favorites, and so I stitched her first. And I don't remember if I've actually finished her or not. No, I haven't. Nope. And I started this 10 stitch as well, so here's the whole like width of it being 90, but I've only stitched this much right here, so I can just stay right here. This is it. So I am still missing some stitches on Cinderella. I am missing some chin and face stitches right here. Her lips are completely done, so I'm not really sure about that. I think I might need to exchange that one skin colored stitch for a red lip stitch. But it's not looking too bad. I like it, especially from back here. And I do like the way the background is looking as well. That's what I picked up this last time is I started stitching the background and a little bit of her hair. So not too bad. This one isn't stamped the greatest. Some of the symbols are kind of blurry. Like there is a red dash and an orange circle that look exactly the same. So yeah, I would like to get this one finished and then I can start working on one of the other princesses. But yeah, this is where we're at so far. And let me show you the back. There's the back. So yeah, this one's very, very large. That's probably why I don't get it out very often, is because it is so large. So it kind of gets skipped over a lot. And it's in the filing cabinet. Like I said, the filing cabinet was supposed to be like my go-to. Like, whatever's in the filing cabinet I can stitch on because I don't have to worry about anyone sleeping. I'm not going to wake anyone up. It's in the kitchen, so it's fine. But then I forget that there's a filing cabinet over there, which is funny. All right, next up, another one I had forgotten about, and I really liked stitching on this when I first got it and I first started it. I really liked it, so I don't know why I haven't stitched on it right now. This is a stamped witch. Beautiful. She's absolutely stunning. She's got the moon phases on there. She's got some candles down here, a witch hat, and I just love the wispy feel of her dress. Super pretty. But I think all I did on her was her face, and then I moved on. Let's see. Yeah, all I've done is her face. Rude. But there she is. And she looks great. I love the way her face turned out. Right there, that might need fixed actually. That one pink stitch might need fixed. Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. I'll have to look at that a little bit more. It might need to be a darker red, like over here. Because I think that like stands out too much. But anyway, there she is. And that's all I've done. This is a 40 by 56. So there she will be. And like I said, I really liked working on this one when I got it. I did that face super fast and then I just kind of put it down and I haven't picked it up since. So I totally need to, because it's got 35 colors. It's like nice stamping. Yeah, I need to get this out. That's all there is to it. And the colors are super pretty too. It's not like the normal color scheme that I go for. I'm not like the biggest pink fan. But yeah, there's lots of pink right there. So yeah, I need to get this one out. Again, that's why I like doing the whip parades, because I get to see all of my things. I get to be reminded. I get to reorganize. I need to pull my hoops and stuff that have been lost forever. Yeah. All right, this one is my really long Alice in Wonderland. I don't have a picture that I can show you because the picture doesn't do it justice, so I'm going to post it up here. It is very big. It is, I think, 40 by 90, maybe? 40 by 90. Dang, I'm good. So 40 by 90. This is one of the only Alice in Wonderland patterns I can find with the walrus and the carpenter. That is one of my favorite scenes from Alice in Wonderland, and I don't know why, because he's so sad. But yeah, I don't know what it is about. I don't know. So I really needed to make sure that the walrus was in it, and I stitched the walrus. Now, I'm not fully satisfied with the walrus because I don't see any eyes. That being said, I might do just like 2 white stitches to try and put some eyes in there. Because, I mean, you do see eyes on the pattern, but of course it's an 11 count stamp kit, so you gotta pick and choose your battles. But, I mean, everything else about him looks really good. So that's the first thing and the only thing that I've done is I wanted to stitch up the walrus's face, just to make sure he's looking good. And, you know, I just watched Alice in Wonderland earlier today, so I should bring this out and stitch on it every time I watch Alice in Wonderland, because I watch Alice in Wonderland at least once a week. I don't know why. It's a really great movie to have going while I'm stitching. I don't know. Lifts my spirits, I guess. But anyway, that's it. Here's the whole thing, in case you want to see it. The walrus and the carpenter were walking down the beach. There we go. Lots to do. I think another reason why I really like this one is it keeps like all of the artwork the same. So you see a lot of like Alice in Wonderlands that, I don't know, Alice just doesn't look like Alice. And that bugs me. So this is like the original like movie artwork. Okay, next up we have another gift from Nikki, the threadmaiden. She knows I love lanterns and I love the weather. This also looks like a wizard standing right here. So everything about this pattern just screams me. So I was super excited to see that she sent this to me. I need to get working on it. I definitely have not done this pattern justice. I did get this towards the end of the year. So it was around the time where I was like mad dashing to try and start all the things before my no new starts year, which of course got blown out of the water. I did not do no new starts. I think I did it until the beginning of March or middle of March. Then I was like, this is silly because I just started all these patterns. Now I'm overwhelmed by all the patterns that I started and none of them have more than like 100 stitches on them. So I need to go back and start stitching on all these things. But then I also started buying all the patterns. So this is all I've done so far. Hey you, what you doing? Did you finish your cracker? I see. Okay, I'm gonna keep doing this video, okay? Okay. Okay. Can I keep filming the video? Okay. Are you gonna go find your cards to play with? Or are you just gonna help me? Just gonna help me. This is as far as I've gotten. So this is so small. This is such a small start. So I actually think I'm going to stitch on this today because I love, love, love this pattern, but I haven't even gotten like 300 stitches on it because I started it and I was rushing to like do all the no new start things. So anyway, got to get going on this. This is really big too. It's a 58 by 78. So another reason why I really need to do this. Thank you for closing the door for me. So here's the whole thing. And that's all I've done. So sad. So sad. So I'm gonna stitch on this today. I'm feeling it. And when the stitching calls, you gotta work on it. So I am going to do this. It is done. Absolutely love this pattern. I love all the clouds on the top, the street. Everything about this pattern. Okay, there's that. Next up, what do we have? Oh, this is my Dreamcatcher Dragon. I am stitching this with Abby, but I think she just finished hers. So, I think, or did she only have the feather left? I can't remember if she finished it or if she only had the feather left. Oh, careful. But this one is insane. The back stitching is insane. There's half stitches, there's full cross, there's just everything. So, but it's gonna be beautiful. So this is stitched on a piece of 28 count even weave that I hand dyed myself. And, this is stitched over two strands over two. So I think I need to take this hoop off though and show you because I have finished this little jewel up here and it's being blocked. Okay, so yeah, this pattern without backstitching looks like poop. It totally looks like poop. But I'm so excited. I almost have this part done. I have a little bit more right here to go. And then this page is completed and then I can add all the backstitching and move down. So I need to get this one out too because I saw Abby stitching on it not too long ago and I was like, I need to get mine out. And then she was like, I'm finished or I'm almost finished. And I was like, what? What happened? Why am I not that far? So yeah, but looking at it, I can easily see like the neck of the dragon and it's just so pretty. So yeah, I need to get going. But I love the piece of fabric. There's going to be leftover fabric. I should cut this down to size so that way I have this in my stash. That's what I need to do. day. Okay, there's that. Okay, next up, what is this? Oh, okay, so in the previous video, I showed my daughter's pattern that she picked. It was a rainbow kitty cat. It was like with rainbow flowers and everything. This is my son's pattern that he picked. He picked this cat with a goldfish on the top, and I absolutely, this is my favorite pattern. Like one of my favorite patterns of all of the kids' that they've picked. I love this one. So I really need to get going on it. I just hope that I can see this little like design on the kitty cat's like head. So yeah, what I was doing for the longest time, I kind of slowed down doing this, but I would stitch one kiddo's pattern. Okay, where do you want me to stitch? You want me to stitch this detail? Okay, I'm stitching this, and then I would switch to the next person's pattern. And I need to start doing that again, because then I get progress on all of their stuff. So let me grab it out and show you. Okay, so yes, one of my favorites, which is why I should get this out and start stitching all my kids' stuff again, because this kit, the fabric, the stamping, everything about this kit is just so lovely. I need to actually look up what AliExpress store I got this from and get some more because I love it. Okay, this is it. At first, he wanted me to do the fish, the goldfish. I did that super fast. That was like super, super quick. I did it. And then he wanted me to work on the kitty cat tail. So I did that. And then he wanted me to work on background. So I did that. And then he wanted me to work on the kitty cat's forehead. So that's what I last stitched on, is this kitty cat forehead. And I don't have enough stitched around it to see if I can fully see all those beautiful like twirly lines on his head. I might have to add some back stitching just to kind of really emphasize the twirling. But it looks amazing and I can't wait. I cannot wait to get more done on these kids' kitty cats because I love them. And I need to finish them up soon because they're getting bigger and older and they're not going to like these much longer. So I really need to get going on these. So these are definitely, if for some reason I pick like 40 patterns, these are definitely making it in there because everything about these, the stamping and everything, like, I don't know if you can see. No, it's all blurry. Look how beautiful that stamping is. I love this one. This one, every time I look at it, I'm like, ah. But I always forget about it, unfortunately. And this I just have in like a dollar store, like craft, like binder bag, and it works great. I'll zip it later when I fix it, but it's got like a little extra pocket, so I have the extra floss in there, and then yeah, here's like all the stuff. It's awesome when I actually fold the fabric to make it fit. Okay. All right, that is it for this container. I have one more drawer and the storage container below me, so I'm gonna pause, be right back, and go grab all that stuff. Okay, I feel like I've gotten my workout for the day. Here is the last container of stuff. As far as like in the filing cabinet, then I have one more container right here. That was under my bed, and then we're done. Now, this is not going to include, this video is not going to include any of my stitching library stuff. Stitching library is a thing that I started at my local library where I bring a bunch of stamped cross-stitch patterns for people to work on. They stitch on the same thing, or if they want to pick something different, they can. And then, you know, we meet once a month. And so I have like a separate container for all those patterns. So that this video is not going to include those patterns. I've kind of considered them UFO, basically. And then it's also not going to include any whip finishes. That, I think what I will do is create a separate video to talk about the stitching library and also to just show quick little pictures of my finishes because this video is already super long. So, that being said, next up, we have a Joy Sunday. This is a 14 count stamp kit, a pattern that my husband got for me, which I absolutely love. I still am trying to get into 14 count stamp projects. I find them kind of a little harder to stitch on. This one I was going to do 10 stitch, decided probably not, and then started and switched it to full cross. So here's where I've gotten to. Not very far, like everything else. This is a 30 by 40? 34 by 34. So in the grand scheme of things, this is absolutely nothing. But it would be really pretty to have on the wall eventually. So that's what it looks like. And the colors are really pretty. And I still kind of want to, I don't know, I kind of want to try doing it 10 stitch, but probably not. I'll probably just stick with full cross. So, yeah, there we go. And I'm going to stitch this hoop. I'm going to steal this hoop. Good golly. I need a nap. Okay. Next up, we have another part of my Watercolor Girl series. My goal is to get every single one of them. I love them all. This is Pomegranate Girl, is what I call her. She's a 30 by 40. She's the smallest one I have, which it's mind-boggling every single time I look at her because I'm like, this is so small compared to all my other stuff. I should just stitch on this and get this finished, like super fast. But I just haven't, and I don't know why. I don't know why. I can't seem to get into this one. Last time I had talked to you guys about this one, I had started doing her eyes and I've done some of the background, but that's it. So this time what it is, I just connected everything. There's just a bunch of random stitches everywhere, and so what I did is I wanted to complete this whole section so that way I can then work down and work in that whole section. I did start this full cross. So all of these stitches right here are full cross. Same with this side of the eye as well. But everything up here is mostly 10 stitch because there were a couple like confetti stitches up here that I then filled in with 10 stitches. But look how small it is compared to everything else that I've shown you. It's teeny tiny. Here is the back. And I can honestly probably finish this in like a month if I was to just work on this and this only. But you know, who wants to do that? Actually, I would love to be a monogamous stitcher. I would love to be, and I've tried to be, but I can't. I just can't. Because I can't. My brain doesn't work that way. Okay, next up we have another one that I've barely stitched on, but I need to stitch. This is a kit that I purchased off AliExpress, and it's just of a couple, maybe siblings, I don't know, but it's a man and a woman hugging, and I absolutely love like a good old embrace. Like, just give me a hug. Like, if I'm having a bad day, if I'm having a good day, I just want a hug all the time. So this one's beautiful. Plus, it's got all my favorite colors, and you see like stars and stuff. It's like he's not really there. He's like the memory of him. So anyway, I love it. I love everything about this one. I need to finish kitting this one up. So if you buy, oh no, I just finished kitting this one up. That's right. Last time I stitched on this, I finished kitting this one up. So yeah, completely kitted up. Something just fell. It was floss cards. Yeah, last time I stitched on this, I fully kitted it up instead of stitching on it. I now remember. This is the same print people that did the kitty cat I just showed. I could tell by the way the fabric feels and looks on the stamping. So I definitely need to get this one out and start working on it more because this will be a love for sure. But unfortunately, this is all I've done right here. This was another rush start because I wanted to start this before the end of the year for no new starts. But of course, we all know that didn't happen. So I only got like 220 stitches, maybe. Like right in there. And that's it. But when I first started this, it wasn't kitted up. This is still fairly new fabric. So it is kind of hard to stitch on for right now. but it's the same type of fabric as that kitty cat, and so I know it will soften up super nice. Here is my back. So yeah, I need to get this one out too. So much to stitch on and so not enough time. Maybe I should keep this one out on my desk too. I now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 patterns sitting on my desk to work on. It's like, it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Like, there's no way I'm going to stitch on all these today, but maybe this week. Maybe this week I could pick like one each day and stitch on it. Maybe. I don't have that much time in a day with the kids. Okay. Someone can dream. I can dream, right? I can have dreams. Next up, this is another Watercolor Girl series. This is a mermaid one, which is amazing because bring on fantasy. This is my mermaid girl. I started this when Sally Ann wanted to do a mermaid, and so she does Mer Monday sometimes. I have been slacking on all of my prompts, like Carolyn Manning Monday, Mer Monday, Pretty Lady Day. I don't even remember what day it is anymore. Yeah, all of those prompts I've really been struggling because not only do I forget about them, but by the time I actually get to stitch, if I do remember, I'm like, nah, because I have to go digging for them, and it's like, I don't have the energy to do that. But I love this pattern, and I started this when she first started doing her full coverage Monday. Full coverage mermaid. That's where I found 2, which is pretty good for me considering I just showed you one that I started and I only had like 200 stitches on. This one's at least 500. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have a little over 1,000 done on this. That's pretty good for a full coverage. So I think I want to start getting this out for when Sally tells me she's doing Mer Monday, where she's stitching on her mermaid, and I'll stitch this with her because I would really like to get all my watercoloring girls done. I love them all. And I like how I have like one little confetti stitch right there, just undone. That's going to drive me nuts. But yeah, this is a pretty big one. It's a 50 by 65. I love the fabric. The feel of the fabric is great. Here's the whole thing. So she is a biggin. And the stamping is pretty good. So yeah, I need to get this one out too. So I'm also going to put this on my desk because I'm going to torture myself apparently. Just get all of the things out on my desk to stitch on. There you go, Sally. I know you're watching this. I'm going to stitch on this, so when you stitch on the mermaid next time, let me know. For either full coverage Friday or for your Mer Monday, let me know, and I will stitch on this with you. After, I gotta remember to put the picture back in there. Okay, we are so close to being done. Next up, we have my stitching lady. I'm stitching this with Sally and Abby, and pictures right up here. This one, we started this such a long time ago, and I always forget about it, even though it's such an easy, like, monochromatic pattern. Like, why do I not stitch on it? I don't know. But here is where I've gotten to. So this last time I pulled this out, I think last month, a prompt came out for it, and so I stitched this right here. You can see that it's not all like filled in, so sometimes on patterns I will stitch all 10 stitch and then I'll go back around to put the second leg on it. It's easier for me. I don't use my phone as much when I do that, so that's really nice. But yeah, this is like, I blew out the alphabet super fast. Apparently I really like stitching words and letters. But when it comes to like motifs, sometimes I really struggle getting motivated to do them. So I really need to get this one going. But this one is a fairly long pattern. I think it goes down to all the way right here. And I believe this was Tinsel Stitch on Etsy, if I had to take a guess. But yeah, I don't know why. This one's stitched on 14 count Aida, 2 strands. And full cross. And I think I'm using 823 or 820. 820. This is 820, I think. Yeah. I don't know why that one has like no progress. I don't know. Okay, so my daughter picked that kitty cat sorcerer like pattern that I showed last video, I believe. My son picked out Bowser. So I have not stitched on this very much. He has only wanted to stitch on this with me, and I asked him if he wanted me to stitch on it by myself, and he said no. So, but I bet you if I was to ask him again, that would change. The stamping on this is not very good, so I kind of struggle to have motivation to work on it, even if I was to like stitch on it by myself. But everything that has been done on here, he has sat on my lap and helped me stitch on it. So yeah. And he doesn't have, he gets bored real easy. So he's like, I want to stitch green now. I want to stitch yellow. I want to stitch white. It's like, well, honey, we've only stitched like 4 stitches of this white. Can we do at least 10 before like switching over to the next color? Okay. So yeah, there's chaos all over. I don't even know if you can tell what I've stitched so far, but I know I've stitched some white right there. I've stitched some of the, excuse me, I've stitched some of the copper right here, a little bit of green right there, and a little bit of yellow all the way down here. So yeah. There we go. That's what we've stitched on together so far. So yeah, that's really funny. Mom, can we stitch on a different color now? I want to work on this color. So cute. But this will go with his Mario pattern that he's picked, and which I need to work on his Mario pattern, because I don't even think I've started it yet. Okay, next up we have a teacup and a castle, which is amazing because I love teacups and I love castles. And this also has a lot of flowers too. So it's a 40 by 50. I don't remember if this was a gift or not. I think this one might have been a gift by Nikki. I can't remember. Sorry. I have too many patterns. Okay. Here's this pattern, which is absolutely stunning. I love the blue rose and the teacup and all the clouds on the teacup. It's like a fairyland. Fairy tale land. This one, I have gotten a little bit done on the background as I drop it. Pattern down, pattern down. All right, here's where I've gotten to so far. So with this one, you can start to see some of the tree come to life. It is completed from here up to here, minus this blue strip, the like outline strip that goes like all the way down. Because it's like so close to the corners, sometimes I stitch these by hand, in hand and without a hoop. So I'll just hold it like this and stitch it because it's easier to get in those corners. But there we go. I think last time I stitched on this, I got a fair bit done on it. It's an 11 count stamp kit, and I'm stitching it 6 strands. And yeah, I think I just kind of struggle with this one because there's a lot of confetti with all those flowers. So once I get out of this flower tree and get into more like the little castle down here, I think it'll go a little bit better. But yeah, this is where we're at. And I really love the feeling of this fabric too. It feels really nice. The stamping isn't crisp, but it's not terrible. So I accept. I don't know. We have a hammock right outside our window, and the kids are like out there playing on it right now. I don't know if you can hear them giggling. It's super adorable. Okay, next up. No, I don't think that teacup was a gift. I don't know. I don't remember. This is a gift though from Nikki. She sent me over this beautiful lady right here. I think she's just a woman. I don't think she's an elf or anything, but I can't see her ears. But I really want to get some work done on this because I want to see if these actually shine. You know, have that like shiny effect and rainbow effect like the pattern actually shows. she's stunning. She's absolute stunner. But I haven't gotten very far, again, because I got this package like at the end of the year and I was rushing for like no new starts, but I wanted to for sure start this. So I don't think I got very far. Yeah, I got like 20 stitches done. So here's the whole thing. So sad. And I've only done like all that, which is on one of the little orb things that I want to see glow. So there is that, but that's what I've done. Yeah, this is terrible. This is kind of embarrassing that I haven't like gotten very much done on all these things. It's not my fault. Okay, it's designers' fault. It's all of the different designers because they keep coming out with all these beautiful patterns and I'm weak. I have to have all the pretty things. Although, if you cross stitch, you know, or if you don't know, then you're lucky. Some patterns disappear. So you'll look at a pattern, it will be on your wish list, and then you'll go back like a year later and like, you know what? Do you remember that like crow pattern I wanted to buy? I'm gonna buy it. And then it's either been discontinued or you can't find it anymore. And it is the worst feeling in the world when you're like, have inspiration to stitch on that one specific thing that's still stuck in your head a year later and you're like, okay, I'm not buying it because I have way too many things. I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna stitch on other things and I'll buy it if I'm still thinking about it. You're still thinking about it and then you go to look for it and it's gone. Worst feeling ever. And that's happened to me. And so I have all these patterns because it's like, well, I don't want it to disappear, so I gotta get it at least. Oh well. This is one of my furthest along watercolor girls and one of my oldest as well. I don't have a very good picture of her, so I'll put it right up here. This is a 40 by 50. It doesn't say. I want to say this is a 40 by 50. Maybe it'll say on the actual like pattern. So I believe this was started full cross and I converted it to 10 stitch, I believe. Yep. Yeah, so the background is full cross. So this is all full cross right here. Everything else, oh no, and her face is also full cross. Then I discovered 10 stitch and I've completed everything all up here and a bunch of her hair 10 stitch. So she's definitely my furthest along. I absolutely love her eyes. I know you can't really see her, like her pupils or anything, but they almost look possessed. Love struck? I don't know, but I love them. I love them. So this, yeah, is one of my furthest along watercolor girls. I have several. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5. One of them I have not started yet though is a silk kit. And I can only find it in a silk kit. Anyway, yeah, so this is my furthest along and I just need to start working on her. Like everything, I just need to start working on it. Okay, we will finish this video. We're so close. Okay. Last pattern. Not last pattern, last container. Every time I start recording, he starts freaking out. It's okay. All right, last container. We're so close. We have this left. I believe this is all counted patterns, if I remember, and I'm actually organized like I think I might somewhat be. Okay, so this next pattern I am stitching with Sally and Abby. This is a winter sampler, I believe, a Christmas sampler. One of the two. Gnome sampler? Something. Anyway, pictures right up here. So this one I actually, oh no, there it is. Oh, my fabric fell. This one I started and I didn't like the fabric. This is the fabric I got from Amazon that's 19 count instead of 18 count. It's supposed to be 18 count. But here is where I got to, and I just don't like how like fuzzy looking the white is. So I really was not enjoying this, and this is with 2 strands. So this 19 count really needs to be stitched with 1 strand, which I've learned because I've tried out on so many different occasions, but I always forget that this is like the fabric. So I am going to restart this over. I just have yet to do so. And I'm going to start it over on this piece of 18 count. Is it 18 count? 18 or 16? No, I think this is 18 count Ada that I hand dyed myself. And it's just like a light lavender, like cloudy looking pink, basically. That dang window. Oh, there we go. There we go. Put it right in front of me. So this is what I'm going to stitch it on instead. I just haven't started it over yet. So, but that is what I'm going to do next time. So not quite in the winter mood yet. I didn't really feel like a Christmas in July type of feeling this year. Most of the time I do because I love Christmas, but I just wasn't feeling it this year. I don't know. All right, so there is that one. Next up, what do we have? Next up, we have Nocturne, I believe. Mini Nocturne? Yeah, Mini Nocturne. This is Heaven Art Designs by Marta Dollig. So there is a little bit of a backstory to this. I absolutely love tornadoes. I don't know why. I'm terrified of them. I've never seen one before, but I dream about them. So in every like nightmarish dream, or just, it doesn't necessarily have to be a nightmare, but I dream about tornadoes a lot. So when I saw this beautiful woman looking like a tornado almost in a field of like stormy clouds, yes, please. So yeah, I got this pattern, but after doing some research starting this pattern, I didn't like the blocky feeling of the background. That seems like way too, I don't know, bright of a color, I guess, for this pattern. I don't know, maybe not. But it was starting to bug me, the blending of the background. So I'm still deciding if I want to start this over or what I want to do. This was started on 28 count even weave, stitched 2 strand tent. I am struggling with 28 count if it's just over 1 like this. If it's over 2, it's a little bit easier, but I still kind of struggle with it. So I'm still debating on whether or not I'm going to start this over. I don't want to like not stitch it. It is fully, I have all the floss for it. And I love the artwork, but I got to figure out what I want to do. I don't know if I need to go bigger to get rid of that like backgroundy like mess or not, but I don't like how the background was charted. So yeah, I got to figure it out. Okay, next up we have some of my Mill Hill kits. So my husband got me some Mill Hill kits for Christmas. I've always wanted to try them. So here is this one. This one is called Flower Shop, and I have started it. So here is what it looks like. Now, for my first Mill Hill kit, I wanted to start everything exactly how it came. So I'm using this canvas, which is so hard to stitch on because you have to pretty much hold it in hand to stitch. And I am terrible at holding things in hand and stitching. So I think next time I am going to stitch these Mill Hill pattern on actual fabric instead. I've seen it done. So I think I am going to do that. But for this one, I am going to try and finish it on this thing. This will be the first time beading as well, if I can get it finished. Yeah, because I haven't beaded anything before, so we'll see. But yeah, and here is my Mill Hill kit. Okay, there are those. Next up, I have no idea what I have. Oh, okay, so next up we have this like little dragon. And I have one this way and a blue one facing the other way. This is Sheena Pike, which is no longer on Heaven Art Design's website, I don't think. Well, maybe she is. I don't know. It goes back and forth all the time. I have started this one over several different times, and I always kind of come back to it, but I can never get into it. So this is, I think, my third restart on this. This is 28 count even weave, so I struggle with 28 count. It's stitched 2-strand tent, but for some reason, like I said, I just can't get into this pattern. I think it's because it's not full coverage, and so with as many stitches as there is, I struggle getting into it and finding like a groove. But yeah, I haven't gotten very far on this at all. Super pretty though. Next up, we have a piece that I've actually thought about UFOing. So this is Owl Forest Embroidery Hedgehog. Pictures right up here. I'm stitching this with Abby, although she's finished hers already. And this is where I've gone to. So I've only stitched on this once, and it was the first time we got it. And we started this for Mania last year. But this is as far as I've gone, and I just haven't really felt like stitching on him. I look at him and I'm like, ugh, no thanks. So I don't know if I'm going to UFO him or not, but this is where I've gotten to so far. And this is on a piece of, this is 18 count Ada that I hand dyed myself. Next up, we have my Pokemon from, oh, I can't remember the name of it. It's free on it starts with an L. I can't remember the name of it, but I'll put it up here. Here is the picture for it. So I have since gotten a stamped Pokemon with all of the Pokemon on there. So we'll see that eventually. I don't know where it is actually. Where's my Pokemon? It's somewhere. But I don't think I've seen stitching on. I wonder if I'm missing a container to show. Did I show Pokemon? I don't know. Anyway, I haven't gotten very far on this because of that reason. I found the stamp and I liked that better. So I do like this one, and the pattern comes with blue in the background, but I'm a plant girl, so I changed it to be like a greenish color. Super pretty. I'm also stitching Krennic in any Pokemon that I really like to make them holographic. So you can see the Fire Eevee has a little bit of sparkle in her chest and hair. She's one of my favorites. So I added Krennic. Super fun. It's just, I don't have this kitted up and I don't have all the colors. So it's super frustrating when you really get into a groove and you can't find it, what you need. Next up, what is this? And this one I'm stitching with Abby as well. And I haven't gotten very far on this. This is 18 count Fiddler's Ada. And this is where I've gotten to. Not very far. And this one is huge. So, yeah. I have a fair bit of these like started that I just haven't gotten any progress on, and I just for some reason have a hard time kind of getting into them. I love them, and I love the colors, but I have a hard time getting into them. I did change this pattern too. This pattern calls for a different color than purple, and I'm doing purple. I think I also changed, I think I for sure changed the alphabet color, but I can't remember if I changed any of the other colors, but yeah, super pretty. Can't remember what I'm doing for anything until I start working on it. I'm like, oh yeah, that's what I was doing. All right, here's another one just like that one that I've barely gotten anything done on, but stitching with Abby, and she's rocking it off. This one is 14 count Ada, Fiddler's Ada. Here's a picture up here. I don't know if I wrote down the name of this one, so I don't know who this is by, unfortunately. I think this is a Blackbird design, if I had to take a guess. But picture's right up here, and this is where I've gone to so far. So yeah, not very far at all, which is funny because I really like stitching the alphabet and letters, but for some reason I just can't get into this one. Or when it comes time to like stitch it, I'm like, nah, I'm good. So I don't know. But I want to. They're not going away. It's just I struggle getting into them. Okay, next up we have, what is this? Oh, this is Alforest the Pumpkin or Autumn Sampler. This is a free pattern on Alforest. Sally is stitching this. So is Emma. So is Abby. I think we're all stitching it. And here we go. I haven't gone very far, but I love the little pumpkins, and it's definitely almost time to get this out. This is stitched on 18 count Aida, 2/1 full cross. And next up we have a Christmas sampler. I believe this is also from Tinsel on Etsy. Yes, I think so. This is stitched 18 count Aida, 1/1 full cross. So this is the piece of 18 count Aida that's actually 19 count. And this is where I figured out that I really need to stitch with one strand. Definitely makes it stitch up easier and looks better. So I haven't gotten very far on this, and I've only stitched on it that one time. So, but pretty good progress for only stitching the one time. And I love the fabric. Dyed myself. I love dyeing fabric. Absolutely love it. Next up, there we go. Next up we have D&D Girl. This is one of, I don't know. I really love her, but I really struggle with her because right now I'm stuck right here on her forehead, and it's just all white and gray, and it's not kitted up, and so I really struggle getting into her, but I do love her. Strangely enough, I don't like dolls, but I love her, so. And this is where we've gotten to so far. This is 18 count Aida, stitched 3-strand tent. And there we go. And I'm just, like I said, I'm just stuck right here on her forehead. I'm stuck. But I do love that I filled in most of the stitches when I was stitching cross country. I finished the little gems and everything. So yeah, I just got to get working on her. I really like stitching full coverage, big full coverage patterns, but if they're not kitted up, I just can't. And this one's not kitted up, so I really struggle. Moral of the story is I need to kit up all my things. Okay. Almost last. So this is my very first cross stitch purchase. I saw someone, I'll put her name up here. I don't think she makes videos anymore. Haley, I don't know. But she's up here, and she's the first channel I found when watching cross stitch videos. Her and Stitching Jewels. I saw her stitch this, and it was absolutely gorgeous. It's a Russian kit. It is, let's see, I think it's RTO or REO. That one part of the pattern is like cut off for some reason. I don't remember now. You'll have to look at some of my past Web Parade videos. Anyway, she's beautiful, but the kit comes, a couple things. So the kit comes with these floss cards, but there's a 1, 2, and 3, and 4. And each of them have just 1 through 15. So it's really hard the way the pattern is to try and figure out the key versus the pattern versus what I'm supposed to stitch. That, and I'm stitching it on the pattern came with dark navy blue fabric. And I don't really like the fabric. It's a 14 count, which is normally fine for me. But I can't grit it. And so I have a really hard time. I've gritted it with some sulky. But I just stitch so differently now that I almost feel like I need to start this over with like fresh eyes now that I know a little bit about stitching, and not just like, because this has half stitches, full cross, it has metallic, it's just, and on dark fabric. So I really struggle getting into this and reading the paper chart. I think those are my biggest things, is reading the paper chart, stitching on fabric that's really hard to see because of the gridding style, and figuring out the dang symbols. So yeah, there's that one. And last but not least, because I can't find my Pokemon, I'll have to look at that later, and if there is, insert more after this video. But this, oh, no, I have more somewhere, because I have more patterns somewhere, because I thought this was something else. This is Jeremiah Kettner. I saw Jessie does stuff, stitch this and finish it, and I was like, I have to stitch that too. I really love the watercolor feel on the outside. I love the artwork. It's beautiful. I'm stitching this on 22 count even weave, stitch 2 strand tent. Same problem with this one as I have with all my other Hades is that I was stitching cross country. I now can't focus on cross country and I have to stitch Royal Rose or some sort of something, finish a section and then move on. And I just can't get into this. There's way too many holes. So even though I have so much stitched on it already, I really have to decide what I want to do with it. Do I want to just scrap it and start over and stitch the correct way that I stitched now? Or do I want to just persevere, fill in the holes, and continue on? So, okay, that is it with this container. So I think there's another container that I'm missing somewhere, because I don't remember if I showed the 2 elf couples. There's the Pokemon one that I haven't shown, I don't think. So I think I'm missing a couple. So I'm going to try and look for those and hopefully insert them here. If you don't see anything more after this video, then I must not have found them. So just in case, thank you all so much for joining me. I really appreciate every single one of you. If you have any questions about anything that I've showed today, please just leave me a comment down below. I'm happy to send you a link, give you the designer name, whatever you need. And yeah, thank you all so much for joining and watching, and I hope you all stay safe, stay warm, and take care. Bye!